To the extent that we can discern, the sole purpose of human existence is to kindle a light of meaning in the darkness of mere being. Carl Jung. Since the dawn of Cain's curse, vampires have found themselves trapped between their insatiable hunger and the uncontrollable fury of their beast. For most, unlife is a one-way path, a slow descent into oblivion or madness. But what if there were an alternative? A way to transcend the curse, balance the soul, and tame the inner beast? The answer may lie in Golconda, a mythical, nearly unattainable state where the beast is silenced and the vampire becomes something greater. It is said that only a few have reached this enlightenment. Others believe it is nothing more than a naive tale, a lie told to keep the weak in check. But the truth about Golconda is hidden in legends and ancient secrets, in the whispers of the Nkanu and the shadows of the ancient antediluvians. In this video, we will explore the mysteries of Golconda, from its enigmatic origins to the cruel trials a vampire must endure to reach it. This will be a journey to the heart of the myth, where we will uncover whether Golconda is the ultimate redemption or just another cruel illusion within the endless jihad. Stay until the end and discover the truth behind this legendary state of existence. The legend of Golconda dates back to the earliest days of the damned. According to ancient accounts, it was Saulot, the enigmatic founder of the Salubri clan, who first discovered this path to enlightenment. He believed that redemption for the children of Cain did not lie in destruction or acceptance of the curse, but rather in achieving balance between the beast and humanity. It is said that Saulot traveled across distant lands, seeking answers in forgotten scrolls, conversing with hermits, and unraveling hidden secrets among the undead. During his journeys, he's believed to have encountered the Nkanu, a society of vampires who had supposedly attained this elevated state. They lived in seclusion, far removed from the jihad, observing the world's events without interference. However, the myth of Golconda is not confined to a single clan or individual. Many vampires, throughout the centuries, have attempted to walk this path, but few have survived to tell their tale. The quest for Golconda is arduous and solitary, filled with physical and spiritual trials. Simply desiring enlightenment is not enough. One must sacrifice everything to attain it. The lingering question remains: is Golconda real or merely an impossible dream? To understand this mystery, we must examine the different perspectives that vampire sects hold on this enigmatic state of existence. Within the Camarilla, Golconda is seen as a convenient myth, a fable created to encourage young vampires to maintain their humanity. To the elders of the sect, this state is nothing more than a dangerous illusion, a distraction that could compromise the stability of vampire society. Despite this, there are rumors that some influential members of the Camarilla secretly investigate Golconda, seeking answers to the curse that binds them. The Nkanu, on the other hand, are often associated with the pursuit of Golconda. It is believed that these reclusive vampires not only know its secrets, but also aid those who show true determination in reaching it. However, their methods and intentions remain shrouded in mystery, and few have managed to make direct contact with their members. For the Sabbat, Golconda is nothing more than a denial of the true vampiric essence. They see this pursuit as an insult to the predatory nature of Kindred, and a rejection of the dark gift they have received. Within their ranks, any mention of Golconda is met with scorn, and those who dare to seek it may be hunted down and eliminated. To the Sabbat, the only truth is the acceptance of the beast and the triumph of the strong over the weak. There are also those who defy all perspectives and see Golconda as the key to something greater. Whether it is a state of absolute peace or a path to incomprehensible power, no one can say for certain. What is known is that the few who claim to have reached it are unlike any other vampire, and their very existence is a threat to the foundations of undead society. The journey toward Golconda is not merely a philosophical quest, but a path filled with physical and spiritual trials. To attain this state, a vampire must confront and overcome the three curses placed upon Cain by the angels Michael, Raphael, and Uriel. Each of these trials demands extreme sacrifice and a profound understanding of their own cursed existence. The first trial is the test of flame, where the vampire must face their greatest weakness, fire. This challenge requires them to willingly step into a blaze and endure the unbearable pain without succumbing to frenzy. Only those who understand and accept the origins of their curse can emerge without being consumed. The second trial is the ordeal of light, in which the vampire must challenge the rising sun and withstand its rays without fleeing. This test represents the need to abandon fear and accept the truth of Cain's rejection. If successful, the vampire discovers that sunlight does not have to be an enemy, but rather a symbol of transformation. Finally, there is the trial of hunger, the ultimate test. The vampire must reject their primal instinct to feed on blood and consume only mortal food. This stage symbolizes the final renunciation of their cursed condition and absolute mastery over the beast. Few can overcome this last barrier without succumbing to hunger and madness. Each of these trials demands unwavering determination and a truly repentant soul. Those who fail vanish into the ashes of destruction or become mere shadows of what they once were. But for those who triumph, Golconda awaits, promising an existence beyond the curse. Seeking Golconda is to walk a solitary and perilous path. Beyond the internal struggles, those who dare to pursue this ascension face external enemies as well. Clans and sects see the seekers of Golconda as threats, whether out of envy, fear, or sheer desire for control. The pursuit of enlightenment can make a vampire a target for persecution and betrayal, as the very idea of redemption challenges the foundations of vampiric society. Those who pursue Golconda must remain hidden and trust only their most loyal allies. Even within the Camarilla, where the quest is dismissed as naive, there are those who would report a seeker for their own gain. In the Sabbat, any attempt to transcend the beast is considered heresy, punishable by death. Thus, the path is riddled with conspiracies and traps. Beyond enemies, the journey itself tests a vampire's endurance. The renunciation of blood, exposure to sunlight, and mastery over the beast can prove fatal to the unprepared. Many abandon their quest before even completing a single necessary trial. Others lose their minds, consumed by doubt and despair as they find themselves caught between the curse and redemption. Even those who succeed find no peace. Golconda does not make them invulnerable. They may be hunted by former allies or by those who see them as abominations. The danger never ends. For every step toward enlightenment is a constant challenge to the established vampiric order. But for the few who manage to persevere, Golconda becomes a final liberation. They cease to be mere kindred and become something more, something that vampire society cannot comprehend, and perhaps, for that very reason, fears above all else. When a vampire finally attains Golconda, they transcend the limits of their own curse. What was once an existence tormented by hunger and fear becomes something new, something unattainable for those still enslaved by the beast. The first sign of this transformation is the absolute balance between instinct and reason. The beast no longer governs their actions, and the need for blood is drastically reduced. Accounts from those who have reached this state describe a profound inner peace. The torment of unlife fades, replaced by an unparalleled clarity. Their perception of time and existence itself shifts, and many claim to feel a direct connection to something greater, a state of communion with the universe, or even the very essence of creation. However, this enlightenment does not make them gods, nor does it completely free them from the curse, but it redefines their relationship with it. Beyond the spiritual transformation, there are notable physical changes. The vampire's skin becomes less pale, taking on a subtle glow of vitality. Their eyes lose their predatory coldness and instead reflect a serenity unknown to other kindred. Rumors suggest that those who achieve Golconda may walk in sunlight without being destroyed, though this remains a closely guarded secret among the few who have triumphed on this journey. Still, Golconda is not a fixed or immutable state. Maintaining this balance requires constant discipline and vigilance. A single act of cruelty or a moment of frenzy could strip the vampire of everything they have achieved. Those who falter on this path may find themselves further from redemption than ever before, condemned to an existence of eternal regret and suffering. The existence of a vampire in Golconda does not go unnoticed by the rest of vampiric society. For many elders and sect leaders, the mere possibility of a vampire transcending the curse challenges everything they believe in. The Camarilla, which preaches the maintenance of order and secrecy, fears that such a revelation could shake its power structure. After all, if one vampire can escape the beast's grasp, why couldn't others attempt the same? In the Sabbat, Golconda is seen as a betrayal of vampiric essence. For the followers of the Sword of Cain, embracing the beast and accepting their cursed condition is the path to power. A vampire who seeks enlightenment is considered weak, unworthy of their own existence. Those who dare speak of Golconda within the ranks of the Sabbat are often hunted and destroyed, deemed heretics against the true nature of the kindred. The Nkanu, on the other hand, remain a mystery when it comes to Golconda. Many believe this reclusive group harbors vampires who have reached enlightenment and chosen to withdraw from the eternal jihad. They do not interfere in sect conflicts, but they occasionally recruit disciples in secret, guiding them along unknown paths in pursuit of true transcendence. Some say these masters of Golconda dwell in hidden temples, protected by mortals and mystical creatures, awaiting the right moment to reveal their knowledge.
The reduced need for blood also presents a dilemma. While a vampire in Golconda can survive on far less vitae than other kindred, their hunger never completely disappears. This means they must find sustainable ways to feed themselves without succumbing to violence or exploitation. Many turn to willing donors or ritualistic practices to sustain themselves without compromising their enlightenment. However, the greatest challenge of all is the temptation to complacency. Believing that Golconda is a permanent state is a fatal mistake. A single act of selfishness, a moment of weakness, or an unexpected attack can force a vampire to rely on old instincts. If this happens, the fall is inevitable, and many never find their way back to enlightenment. Golconda is not a final destination, but a path that must be walked every moment of eternity. Not all who reach Golconda can maintain it forever. The illusion that this state is permanent is one of the greatest dangers that enlightened vampires face. The fall can happen suddenly or gradually, but it always has devastating consequences. A vampire who fails to maintain his or her balance can be consumed by his or her beast in a manner far more brutal than those who have never sought enlightenment. The first sign of the loss of Golconda is the subtle return of primal urges. Repressed emotions begin to resurface. The desire for vitae intensifies, and the temptations of the vampire world become increasingly difficult to resist. Left unchecked, these urges can drive the individual to acts that once seemed unthinkable, paving the way for an irreversible decline. Ultimately, the greatest tragedy for a vampire who loses Golconda is the realization of his or her own failure. Unlike other kindred, who may still cling to the hope of redemption, those who have fallen from Golconda know exactly what they have lost. This knowledge can drive them to madness, despair, or a frenzy so overwhelming that it consumes what little humanity they have left. For these unfortunate souls, The final doom can be even more cruel than the curse of Cain himself.